What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today what I want to do is set up PHP Phan, which is another static analysis tool that helps to detect bugs, security issues, and other problems in your PHP code without actually running it. And we're going to be doing this because we want to get different opinions on how we can refactor our code, and using static analysis tools like PHP Phan is a great way to do that. We also have other tools that we're using like PHP Stan, PHP SOM, PHP Mess Detector, and we're going to continue to add to our arsenal of static analysis tools and also some dynamic analysis tools as well. The goal is to create as high quality code as we possibly can. Alright, so if you want to support this project and this channel, head on over to piximweb.com and make a purchase of DevWP. It's the WordPress theme that I'm using to help people learn how to code custom themes. Now, I put in years and thousands of hours of working on this project to make it as efficient, productive, and streamlined as possible. You could also check out some of my other videos and see how we progressed over the years. And this is where you can find the project on GitHub, and you can learn more about it here. You also have the wiki that you can check out as well. Alright, so let's head on over to VS Code. If you recall, in the previous video where we set up Composer, we already included PHP Phan, and we also have the Composer script down here as well. If you didn't set up your code this way, you can go into Terminal. I'm going to clear the screen, and this is the command you would type out. Composer require space -- dev and then Phan /Phan, then another space, and then we also need this helper dependency to make it work properly with WordPress. So we have the Phan dependency right there, and then we have this other dependency that works directly with PHP Phan to make it work properly with WordPress itself. And you can see them right here. What we also have to do is create our configuration file. There's a couple of ways you could do it. You can again go into Terminal. You can either type out make dir.phan, and that'll make the .phan folder within the directory or the root of your WordPress project. But let me actually change to the theme itself. I'm using this alias here. This alias is a shortcut that I created to be able to navigate quickly on my file system. It'll take me right to my themes folder. Then I'll just go to that theme itself. This is where you would run the command to install it within your theme. Composer require space -- dev, then the Phan project right here, and then this other dependency as well. And in here is where you would create that Phan folder if you want to do so manually. Or you can run this script down here. Alright, so we're telling Composer to run this script. You should already have Phan installed before running this script itself. But once you do this, it'll create the directory within your theme. Let's hit enter. We have our vendor folder. Let me clear the screen. Let's try this again. In Houston, we have a problem. And the problem is that, human error comes into play here. Instead of using the Composer command itself, we should just use PHP itself. So I'll just go up here and replace Composer with PHP, and that should work. All right, so this is what it should have created. Let's see. Now you see we have the .phan folder right here, and inside we have the config file itself. All right, so it generated this config file, and now we have that set up, and you see here it's not being tracked. Again, the command, let me clear the screen. The command to set up that config file, to initialize it, is PHP space /vendor /bin /Phan space -- init. All right, so once you run that, you'll have that already set up, and then we could actually start testing out our code. So we could type out, let me lower this real quick, go to our Composer file, and we could type this out over here. And the reason why I'm using the allow polyfill parser is because we're not going to be installing PHP AST yet. So I wanted to just add this line here. So we have this Composer script, and this is when you use the Composer command. Then when you do that, it'll start the process of linting your code. I'll make the terminal larger, and you see it's starting to process all the files and folders that it needs to. While it's doing that, if you go back to the config.php file, you can take a look at this file itself, look through the documentation. You can see the target PHP version. You can see some of the values it has defined, and you can configure it here if you want to adjust some of these rules. As we start linting our project, we'll actually resolve the issues that it presents to us, and we'll customize this file to make any adjustments that we need to. Let's go back to terminal, and amazingly, we get no return results. So based on this scan, it's fine. But we're still going to be using it because we're going to be adding some custom code. And we want to make sure that we follow best practices, modern coding styles, and making sure that we don't introduce any issues into our code. But that's going to be in another video where we do linting in depth, where we go over how to lint with PHP Stan, PHP SOM, PHP Phan, PHP MD, and PHP Insights. And then we'll also use some dynamic tools as well. Alright, so this video was all about getting set up with PHP Phan. It's another one of our static analysis tools, and it's very useful to make sure that the code you write is secure, is optimized, makes sense, and follows best coding practices. It's good to use various linting tools and static analysis tools because that'll give you the ability to get different opinions. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to support this project and this channel, head on over to pixandweb.com and purchase a copy of DevWP. With that, you'll get all the files, the folders, the documentation, and everything you need to get set up quickly. Again, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification icon. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or opinions, leave them down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding.